Okay, so now in this video, we are going to see like how to create the objects basically. So there are some two types of objects which are going to create. Normally, most of the time we will do the modeling by using the polygons. According to the situations, we will use the surfaces too. So suppose if you want to create the polygons directly, we can go to this what we say like shelf here, or else we can go to the create polygon primitives, and there are some options here. So actually what the thing is, there are only some objects in the shelf. So if you want to create more objects, we need to go to this polygon primitives. There are some extra things then need to be like created actually. So what the thing is, it is showing only the important things which are going to use. Means like regularly whatever the shapes we are going to create, it will be shown in this shelf. So whatever the extra things you want, you need to go to this polygon primitive options like helix. Helix is nothing but to creating this kind of like spring kind of thing. Means like, so actually now the interactive creation has been like disabled. What the thing is, whenever we create, as I explained in the previous thing, so whenever we click on this object, it is going to create in center of this thing here. So what the thing is, like if you don't want to create in the center of the object, and if I want to create the object wherever I drag, then at that time we need to go to create polygon primitives, and we need to enable this interactive creation here. So if I enable this interactive creation, so whenever you create the object, you can specify the position and just you can create the object wherever you want here. So for example, now if I enable this like interactive creation, now whenever I click on this cube, see it is did not created in the center. Now we can left click and drag the object wherever we want here. So in case, suppose if I want to create this sphere, so just left click and drag. So what the thing is, in order to create the cube, there is two interactions we need to do. Means like, suppose if you create the cube, if you left click and drag, first it will create an base, and again you are getting an from here like drag to the set height. So we need to left click and drag so that it will set the height here. So in order to create the cube, we need to left click and drag for 2 times here. Same for the cylinder, like left click and drag and release the left mouse button, and again left click and drag to create the height here. This way. For cone, same, left click and drag, left click. And for torus, for radius, one left click, and again left click and drag for thickness. But still you can able to change the things, like if you want to increase and decrease the thickness of this torus, we need to select this. So we need to go to this inputs here. Whatever the changes you want to create, make after the creating the object, like increasing the mesh number of mesh subdivisions, or if you want to increase and decrease the thickness, we need to go to this inputs here. If you click on this, you can able to see this here. Means like you can use this radius option, and you can increase the thickness of the tube here. And we can able to like twist also. Like twist is nothing but just we can able to twist it, but laterly you will come to know what is twist actually. And here we can increase and decrease the subdivision so that it will become smooth and like harder. So we can, if you want to create any bolt or something, we can use this thing, and we can create this bolt kind of shape here in this way by decreasing this subdivision right here. Still, if you want to smoothness in the axis, we can make it subdivision axis like height here. So we can convert into smooth here in this way. So it depends on our requirement, whatever the shape we want, we can create in that way here. And also there are some options in polygon primitives like helix. Helix is nothing but let's say left click and drag, it will create the radius. Again, left click and drag, it will create the height. Again, we need to left click and drag to create the number of coils. And again, we need to left click and drag to create the thickness also. There are some like 5 interactions to create this like helix here normally. Okay, so like one is for creating the circle width here, like in this way, and creating the height. Again, left click to create the number of coils. Again, left click to add the thickness here. But laterly you want to change. If you want to change, you can select this and you can use this number of coils. You can increase and decrease the number of coils. You can decrease this radius, thickness, and also we can use this height to increase and decrease the height. And also we can use this subdivisions here in this one. So this is option to create. So there are a lot of other options like pipe, gear. If you click on this gear, so actually the gear will create in the center. I don't know why. So even though if you turn on this interactive creation, still it is creating in the center. So gear, we have a lot of options actually. Means like if you select this, we have like sides. We can increase or decrease the number of sides. We can use this radius. Why it's not working? Yeah, it's, you can use this radius, and we can use this height, how much you want. Again, you can use this height here, and also like subdivisions in this way, and also like gauge spacing. So just if you want to make it spacing and offset, how much you want, just you can increase this gauge spacing. Gauge tip, if you want to create this sharper, then you can use this grade. So what the thing is, just you need to browse all these things. There is like nothing to explain. Just you need to explore all this like twisting. Say if you want to create some fan kind of thing, you can use this. And if you press 3, 3 is to see the object in the smooth mode actually. 3. If you select the object and if you press 3, 3 is nothing but the final thing which you are going to see. Means like if you want to create the object smooth, then we need to press 3 and we can see the preview. 3 is nothing but it's only the preview. Actually, it is not creating the smoothness. So if you want to create the smoothness, actually means there is another option like smooth here. Later I will going to explain the mesh and smooth. Actually, when I smooth, literally it is going to add the subdivisions actually. Okay. So what's the difference is actually, so I will say the difference between this like pressing 3 and using the mesh mode here. So whenever you want to export this object and if you want to use it any other software like Blender, 3ds Max or Unreal Engine or something. So if even though if you press 3 and if you export this object, still in Unreal Engine, you can able to see only in this way here. Means like the harder surface only. So if you want to see actual smooth in Unreal Engine or any other softwares, actually we need to go to mesh and we need to smooth the object. Again, if you select, again it will add the subdivisions and again it will create the smooth here. So what the thing is, when you export this thing to the other softwares, then literally you can see the same way of the object where you are seeing in Maya here. Means like if you are not using the subdivisions and if you are exporting this, you can see only the harder version of the object in the other software here. But the thing is, for rendering in Maya, here the 3 is fine. Means like even though if you press 3 and if you render, you can able to see the smooth shading. No need of adding the subdivisions. Unless until if you want to export into another software, then at that time compulsory you need to click on this like smooth option here. So we have a lot of options here, primitive like pipe, prism, soccer ball, everything. Just once you check it, all these options here. We have this length and everything. So in this way. And also like if you go to this NURBS polygons, like NURBS primitives. So if you click on this sphere, so the sphere which we have created in the polygon is different when compared to this one here. When you see here, we have this less number of subdivisions, and here we have more some subdivisions, and here we have some different options also. Like we can cut this object here in the surface. We can create like half circle or something. We can use this end sweep. The remaining sections is same, like increasing and decreasing the number of subdivisions, but we'll have this extra options like this way. But finally, what the thing is, when you are exporting to other thing, we need to convert into polygons actually. So the surface is only for this Maya purpose. Means like what the thing is, surfaces are very easy to create some basic objects actually, like bottles and everything, the bottles, interior objects or something. So which I will explain when we start the modeling actually. So this is a surface, like NURBS, we'll call it as a cone. Everything will be same only. It's like same. Everything is same. Only the thing is you will have an extra option like sweep here. Yes, you can make it in this kind of way here. Laterally, what the thing is, if you're okay with this shape, we need to convert this into polygons actually. Means there is an option like modify, convert into polygons here. The NURBS to polygons. Later I will explain this. Means this is a model which we have created. It's called as a NURBS. So if I go to the modify, convert, there is an option like NURBS to polygon. That means it is going to convert into polygons laterly. Now we will see the modes in the object. Means like there are three modes in the object. One is like vertex, edges, and faces. This is one of the most important thing in the Maya. Means like without these modes, you cannot change the shapes of the object actually. It means like if you want to change this, like you see, if you want to extrude this, we can extrude these faces. See, in this way, we can create some object here from this thing. So if you want to change the shapes of this object, we need to use the modes here. So I will explain what are the modes. So there are three types of modes in this object. One is vertex, edges, and faces. Yeah. So if you want to go to that modes, we need to select that object. You can right click and hold anywhere. And now you can see there are modes here like edge mode, vertex, and face mode here. So if I select this vertex, now this is a vertex here. Vertex is nothing but it's an intersection between more than two edges. Wherever there are intersection between the edges, then it will create one vertex here. Means like, see, this is the edge, this is the edge. Now these two edges are going to intersect here. So it will create one vertex here. And you need to right click and hold. And if you like move the mouse to the edge and it will highlight to blue, and just if you release, now it will go to the edge mode here. These are the edges here. And if you right click and hold, and if you select this face, then it will select the face here. These are the faces. We'll call it as faces or polygons also. In other software, we'll call it as polygon also, actually, like in Blender, 3ds Max, we'll call it as polygon, but in Maya, we'll call it as a face here. But both are same, polygon and face. So these are the faces. Faces, if you want to delete, you can delete the faces. You can create the hole in between. So like if you go to the side view, you can delete the half of the faces to create the ball kind of shape here. Laterly, what the thing is, if you want to add the thickness, you can add the thickness to these objects, like adding the thickness to these objects here. And we can make it smooth by pressing 3. Now it has been created this. And suppose if you want to create the flat base over this bowl, because the bowl has to stand on this table or something, right? Means like, so we can select some of the vertex and we can use this and we can scale so that it will create the flat surface here in this way. Okay. So in this way we can use this. So this is a use of like vertex, edges, and faces here. So there are some shortcuts to directly go to these modes. So suppose if you press F9, directly it will go to the vertex mode. And if you press F10, then it will go to the edge mode. And if you select the F11, then it will go to the face mode. And again, if you want to go to the object mode, we need to press F8. Object mode. That means again we can able to like move, rotate, and scale the objects here, because whenever we are in this vertex mode or something, we cannot move the object. See, even though if I select, it is selecting the vertex, and if I try to move, it is moving only the selected vertex. Unless until if you want to select the entire object, and if you want to change the position, rotate or something, again we need to right click and we need to go to object mode here, like edges, faces, like vertex, and object mode. Object mode is nothing but again we can able to move the object here. So the shortcut is F8. So F8 object mode, F9 vertex mode, F10 edge mode, F11 face mode here. Yeah. And also whenever we smooth the objects, let's say now I will create this torus or something. Okay, now it's not looking smooth, but if I want to in the smooth mode, then we can press 3 as I said. If you want to go to the smooth mode, we need to select the object and we need to press 3, either in numpad or in the keyboard. And again, if you want to go to the hard surface, then we need to press 1. 3 is for smooth mode, 1 is for hard surface. And if you want to go to the wireframe mode, we need to press 4. wireframe mode. Wireframe, what the thing is, we can see the interior objects, like internal objects also. Means like, see, sometimes if you are going to see, let's say, for example, if I created this cube here, okay. So let's say I have created some sphere inside this cube. Let's say I have dragged into here inside this now. Okay, now we cannot see this object here. So what the thing is, I want to make some changes, or you want to apply some material to the sphere. But the thing is, either we can select from the outliner actually, but here if you want to select in the viewport, you cannot select because the cube is in on the top of this sphere here, right? So if you go to the wireframe mode, you can able to select the internal objects also, like in this way. And also sometimes it will be very useful for us to align the objects properly. See, now I cannot align the object properly. If I go to the wireframe mode, I can see this and I can exactly put onto the place onto the base of this cube or something, like I can place onto the top. We can able to see properly where the object is actually. If you are creating any interior objects or something, even for vehicle or interior, anything, if you are creating, if you want to see the internal objects, every time deleting the wall or moving the wall is also kind of time waste here. So just we can go to the wireframe mode, we can adjust this properly, scale, rotate, and just we can come back to solid mode. So if you want to come back to solid mode, we need to press 5. And laterally, it is also useful. Like if you want to go to the texture mode, we need to press 6. And if you want to go to the lighting mode, we need to press 7. So that can be seen laterally. Means like whenever we apply some material to this object, like wood or something. Okay, means like, so let's say I will apply some wood texture to this. So like right click assign. So don't bother about this thing. So later I will explain how to create this thing. So just like so I have applied the texture to this thing, but we are not able to see the texture which we have applied. So in that time, if you want to see the texture, we need to use the 6 so that we can able to see the texture which we have applied here. Okay, texture mode. 7 is nothing but the light mode because there are no lights at present. That's why the completely it is dark here. So whenever we add some lights or something, like there are some lights, so directional lights or something, now at that time we can able to see the lightings here in this way. Okay. So if you're not in light mode, then normally you can see, but if you go to the light mode, now we can see the effects of the light here. That means it will create the like shadows over here. So if you see, now it will create the shadows. You can change the directions of the light here in this way. So we can enable the cast shadows option. There are a lot of options which can be covered in the lighting topics here. Yeah. So in this way, we can go to the wireframe mode, shaded mode, lighting mode, and texture mode. Like 1 and also 2. 2 is also, but 2 is will not use that much regularly. 2 is nothing but it's a combination of like smooth mode, and it will show the original hard surface edges also. Means like, see, if I press 3, it's completely the edges also showing in the smooth mode. But if I press 2, the object is smooth, but we can still able to see the harder edges here. Okay. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 8 is laterally, I will explain according to the example. So now just we need to be in the solid mode, that is 5 here. So if you want to go to the wireframe mode, we can press 4 here. And also like there are some viewports option at present. See here, there are 4 viewports. Means like whenever we press space, we can able to see 4 viewports. So sometimes what the thing is, whenever we are creating any modeling, like not vehicle, but the character modeling. So at that time we need only like 2 viewports or something. At that time we can use this 2 viewports. So we can able to see only the 2 viewports here. In this way, like side view, front view. That's it in this way. Like perspective and only front view here. And if you want to use 4 viewports, then we can use this option here. So in this way, we can go to this like vertex mode, edge mode, and the face mode here. Okay, and there is a vertex face also. Face means we can able to see the gaps in between this thing. Means this will be useful when we create the character modeling or vehicle model. Means like sometimes if you want to find out the corrections, means like sometimes what the thing is, the two vertex will be merged together. So sometimes using this thing, we will get some errors also. If you want to find out this properly, we can go to the face mode so that we can able to easily find out where are the mistakes are been created here. What the thing is, the models has to be completely in the quad faces only. Until unless there will be some rare situations, you need to create the triangular faces. But the thing is, most of the time you have to maintain the quad faces. There should be no triangular faces because there will be some problems when you are using when you want to create the textures, UV textures or something. So that time you will get some kind of problems. So most of the time, what the thing is, we need to maintain only the quad faces. Quad faces are nothing but the four side faces. Yeah. In that way. So whenever we use this vertex face, we can able to find out if there is any like triangular faces or something in this way. So multi-mode is nothing but like we can able to select the edges and also vertex at same time actually. Means like see, suppose if you are in the vertex mode, we can select only the vertex but not the edges and faces. Sometimes there will be situations you need to select the two things at the same time. At that time, we need to go to this multi-mode so that we can able to select the face, edge, and also the vertex also in this way. But it's a rare option. We will not use that much regularly. And the UV will be covered when we start the texturing part. So this is a UV. That's it. Like object mode, edge mode, face mode, and everything. So most of the time, I use like right click, edges, faces in this way. Actually, I don't use like F9, F10, F11. It is easy for me to switch back to like vertex mode, edge mode, and like face mode in this way. It will be very easy. Means like no need of taking our hand from the keyboard here. Directly we can use a right click and just with that. So this is the basics of this going into the vertex, edges, and face mode. So in the next classes, I'm going to explain like how to match the vertices, like how to like extrude the vertices. Extrude means it is going to create this spikes kind of thing here in this way. In this way. So how to create these objects and how to go to the smooth mode. Okay. Yeah. So we'll start with the vertex mode in the next class. So according to that, we'll explain the vertex mode, laterally edge mode, and face mode. And after completing all these options, then we will start actual modeling. Means like from base level, like how to create a chair, table, so basic things, and laterly we'll go to the advanced modeling.